Everyone thought this was just another luxury brand video. Jungkook standing under the lights wearing Hubble looking untouchable. The perfect global ambassador. But something happened behind the scenes that no one was ready for because the moment T stepped into the room, the entire energy changed. Cameras kept rolling, staff froze, and Jungkook's expression wasn't acting anymore. What was supposed to be a flawless brand shoot suddenly turned into a moment that fans around the world are still trying to understand and what team did next. It turned Jungkook's Hubble video into something far more personal and far more explosive. Stay with me because the real story starts now. Watch the continuation of this video and don't miss it. Before we start, make sure you're ready to love this moments. Welcome to VKook. The room didn't explode. That it went silent. Not the comfortable kind of silence. The kind that presses against your chest. The kind that makes even people who are paid to stay invisible suddenly feel seen. Jungkook was still standing where the cameras wanted him. Perfect posture. Perfect lighting. A luxury watch glinting on his wrist like nothing in the world could touch him. But something was off. His eyes weren't on the lens anymore. They were locked on the doorway because Taehyung had just walked in, and no announcement, and OQ just a quiet shift in the air like the atmosphere itself had decided to change sides. Crew members noticed it instantly. The whisper stopped. Someone lowered a tablet. A stylist froze mid-step, pretending to adjust a sleeve just to have an excuse not to move. This wasn't in the schedule, and Jungkook knew it for a second. He didn't blink. His jaw tightened. Not enough for the cameras to catch, but enough for anyone who truly knew him. Tam didn't say anything. He didn't need to. He just stood there watching. Not with a smile. Not with curiosity, with something deeper. Something unreadable. The director cleared his throat and tried to regain control of the room. Let's continue from the last mark. But the moment had already slipped away. Jungkook raised his wrist again, repeating the same pose he had done perfectly a dozen times before. But now it felt different, forced, like he was trying to hold on to something that was already falling. Taehyung took one slow step forward, then another. Each step was quiet, but it felt loud, and one stopped him because no one knew if they should. Jungkook finally looked away from the camera. Their eyes met, and in that split second, whatever story the brand was trying to tell stopped mattering. This wasn't about a watch anymore. This wasn't about a shoot. This was about two people who shared too much history to pretend nothing was happening. Taehyung tilted his head slightly, just enough to signal something only Jungkook could understand. Jungkook swallowed. A beat passed, then another. The director opened his mouth, but Jungkook moved first. "Can we take a minute?" he said quietly. It wasn't loud, but it carried. The crew exchanged looks. Pausing a luxury shoot in the middle of a perfect take was unthinkable. Yet, no one argued because Jungkook wasn't looking at them. He was looking at Taehyung. And just like that, whatever was about to happen next was no longer something anyone could control. The cameras were still rolling. The lights were still on. But the real scene had just begun. The room stayed frozen long after Jungkook spoke. "Can we take a minute?" No one moved. Not because they didn't hear him, but because they felt the weight behind the words. This wasn't a polite request. It was something closer to a line being drawn. Taehyung didn't look away. His eyes stayed on Jungkook like he was searching for something that had been missing for a long time. The director hesitated, then slowly raised a hand. "All right, let's pause." Lights dimmed slightly. The assistant stepped back. The sound of movement returned, but it felt artificial, like a cover over something far more real. Jungkook lowered his arm. The watch was still on his wrist, heavy now in a way it hadn't been minutes before. "You weren't supposed to be here," Jungkook said quietly. Taehyung smiled, not warmly, not cruelly, just enough to suggest that he already knew that. And yet he replied, "Here I am." There was something dangerous about the way he said it. Not loud, not aggressive, just honest. Jungkook glanced around. Too many eyes, too many ears. "Walk with me." It wasn't a question. Taehyung followed. They moved past cameras, past stylists pretending not to stare. Past people who could feel that something rare was unfolding, but didn't dare interfere. A hallway swallowed them in shadows. The moment the door closed behind them, the air changed. "Why now?" Jungkook asked. "After all this time, why show up here?" Taehyung didn't answer right away. He leaned back against the wall, crossing his arms like he was protecting himself from something invisible. Because I watched the preview of this shoot, he said. And I saw the way you looked. Jungkook frowned. The way I looked like someone who had learned how to be perfect, Taehyung said, but not how to be okay. That hit harder than Jungkook expected. You think you know what I'm feeling from a screen? Junk snapped. Tong stepped closer. I think I know you. Silence not empty this time. Heavy. You left. Jungkook said. You walked away and never looked back. Taehyung's eyes darkened. I walked away because you stopped letting me stay. Jungkook turned away, jaw clenched. You think wearing something expensive makes you untouchable? Taehyung continued. Because it doesn't. It just makes you lonelier. Jungkook spun back. Then why are you here? Taehyung's voice dropped. Because I couldn't stand watching you disappear behind something that isn't you. For a second, Jungkook had no answer. And in that quiet space, something cracked. A knock suddenly echoed on the door. 5 minutes. Someone called from outside. Jungkook exhaled slowly. This ends when we walk back out there. Ta looked at him with an expression that made Jungkook's chest tighten. No, he said. This is just beginning. And as Jungkook reached for the door, he realized something terrifying. The shoot wasn't the dangerous part anymore. What was coming after was. Jungkook stepped back into the studio like nothing had changed, but everything had. The lights felt harsher now, the air heavier. Every camera lens looked like it was watching him too closely, waiting to catch something he no longer knew how to hide. Followed a few steps behind, not beside him, not behind him like a shadow, just close enough to be impossible to ignore. Places, the director called, trying to drag the room back into control. Jungkook lifted his wrist again. The polished metal flashing under the lights. The pose was flawless, but his heartbeat wasn't. Click, flash, click. From the outside, it looked like perfection. From the inside, it felt like standing on the edge of something about to collapse. Tum leaned casually against a pillar just outside the main frame. Arms folded, eyes never leaving Jungkook. He wasn't supposed to be part of the scene. And yet, he had somehow become the only person who mattered in it. Jungkook felt it. Every time he shifted his stance, every time he breathed, he knew Taehyung was watching. Not judging, not admiring, remembering. The director gave a sharp nod. Give me something stronger, more intensity. Jungkook did. But the intensity didn't come from the brand. It came from the fact that Taehyung was standing right there, seeing him in a way no camera ever could. Flash. For a moment, Jungkook's gaze flicked away from the lens, straight to Taehyung. The room stirred. People noticed. Whispers spread like a quiet wildfire. Taehyung didn't move, but his eyes softened just a fraction, and that was enough to break something. Cut, the director said suddenly. That was interesting. Let's reset. Jungkook lowered his arm, pulsing. Taehyung pushed off the wall and walked closer, his voice low. You're shaking. I'm not, Jungkook replied. Taehyung held out a hand. Not touching, just close enough. You always did when you were lying. Jungkook clenched his jaw. You shouldn't be here. And yet you keep looking for me, Taehyung said before Jungkook could respond. A producer rushed over, eyes wide. Hey, we just got a call, she whispered. Someone from outside is saying they saw you two go into the hallway together. There are already posts going up. Jungkook's breath caught. What kind of posts? The producer hesitated. The kind that don't disappear. Taehyung slowly turned his head toward Jungkook. Looks like we're running out of time, he said quietly. Jungkook stared at him, realizing too late that this wasn't just about feelings anymore. This was about a story the world was about to write for them, whether they were ready or not. And once it started, there would be no way to stop it. The first phone buzz, then another, then a dozen. Jungkook didn't have to look to know what was happening. The energy in the room shifted. That sharp electric tension that only comes when something private starts leaking into the public. Hold everything, the director said, voice tight. We need a moment. Taehyung watched Jungkook's face. The way his eyes flickered with something that wasn't fear, it was calculation. You always knew this would happen, Taehyung murmured. I didn't think it would be today, Jungkook replied. A staff member hurried over with a tablet. There's a clip going around. Just a few seconds. You two in the hallway. Jungkook closed his eyes. How bad? Not bad, the staffer said. Worse. People are filling in the blanks themselves. Tom let out a quiet laugh that held no humor. They always do. The director pulled Jungkook aside. This shoot cannot get tangled in whatever this is. We need you focused, clean, controlled. Jungkook nodded, but his gaze kept drifting back to Taehyung, who is now standing alone under a strip of light like he didn't belong anywhere else. Give me 5 minutes, Jungkook said. The director hesitated, then waved him off. 5, not more. Junk walked straight to Taehyung. Did you mean to do this? He asked. Taehyung didn't look away. I meant to see you. The rest happens when two people stop pretending. You know what this could cost. I know what it already cost us, Tae replied. Another phone buzzed. Jungkook felt like the walls were closing in. People are going to talk, he said. They're going to decide what we are. Taehyung stepped closer. Let them. I'm tired of being something we're not. Jungkook's voice dropped. And what are we? For a moment, Taehyung didn't answer. Then he said quietly, the reason you can't look at that camera the same way anymore. Before Jungkook could respond, a producer called out, we need you back on set now. Jungkook hesitated, caught between two worlds, the one in front of the cameras and the one standing right in front of him. Taehyung took a step back. Go, he said. Finish what you started. Jungkook searched his face. And after, Taehyung's eyes held something dangerous. After he said, you decide whether this was just a moment or the truth. Jungkook turned toward the lights knowing that whatever choice he made next would change everything, and the world was already watching. The cameras came back to life like nothing had happened, bright, precise, ruthless. Jungkook stepped into position, every movement smooth, every expression controlled. From the outside he was perfect again. Leave your positive comments here. The best comment will be pinned as a way to honor their love. Thank you to everyone who continues to support this channel. May God reward all of your kindness. This video reflects my personal opinion and interpretation. It is made for entertainment purposes only and does not represent confirmed facts.